I guess we're live. Why not, right? Why not? I have no idea what I'm doing here, so just Saturday night. Friday. It is Friday night. It's Friday night. Might as well go live, right? I don't know. So let's do this here. Five people here already. Is the audio okay? Do we have good audio? Yeah, okay. Hey, Eric. You guys may or may not exactly be able to see what I'm doing here, but D. Hamby's here. Good. Patrick O'Donohue. Great. PA Dan. Good. Smoking GTA. Jesse Graham. Audio's good. And Smoking GTA. Yeah, good. Okay. So I have got something here that, well, this is a project I've been wanting to do for a while, and I don't really know what I'm going to get to do on it tonight, but this is a start for a bandsaw blade sharpener. No, this is not a sawberry. Well, technically, it's a saw. This was a table saw, actually. But this was supposed to be a bandsaw blade sharpener, and I had a patient that, well, kind of a jack of all trades kind of a guy. He was actually a woodworker, and he offered to help me build this, and this was the start that he had. But I'm afraid that I'm going to have to tear it apart because it's not going to work. Yeah, so this is for the sawmill. So I get my bandsaw blades from Cook's in, I think it's Alabama, and it was like, if you buy a pack of 10 blades, it was like $165 shipped. So they're like $16.50 a piece. I think the price has gone up since then, but I don't think it's too terribly unreasonable. So, you know, if you can get chainsaw chains at $16.50 a piece, you're actually doing pretty good, you know. And bandsaw blades, you know, for $16.50 a piece, you're doing pretty good. The problem is nobody in Connecticut has a sharpener. And Ken was on, and he told me that he had a place that I could get them sharpened called ctsaw.com, and I contacted them today, or at least I contacted one of their drop-off locations, and you know when they're not like, oh yeah, no problem, you know, that it's probably not going to be a good they really don't know what they're doing. So the it was basically like a hardware store that I contacted, and which is what you're supposed to do. And they contacted CT Saw for me, and then they got back to me finally, and it was going to be more than the cost of the blade to have them sharpened, which is silly because Cook's does them for like $8 a blade. Yeah, I have the HM126 Woodland Mills. Hey, Ron. So, I'm like, oh, that's it. That doesn't help me. So, kind of back to the drawing board. It's like, because I was kind of hoping to just have to drop off the blades, get them sharpened, and be good. But because I got a whole pile of blades, I probably have 40 or 50 out in the shed, easy. Another 20 or 30 at my dad's place, just sitting there. So, and I feel bad about buying new. I just do. You know, it just doesn't feel right to buy new, you know. So I've got a potential project here. And I just tried to run the motor, and guess what? It doesn't run. So it's even more of a project. I don't know who wired this up, but problem is internally I don't know how this is wired. I use the red and the black and the red and the white, and it just sits there, just goes and doesn't move. So I'm kind of suspicious that this motor's cooked. TD, evening. 13 people here, having a good old time on a Friday night. So anyway, so I bought some stuff just to use for this, but one interesting thing was basically we came to the conclusion. I mean, this was cheap, and the nice thing about using a table saw motor is that it's powerful, but also it automatically has the tilt mechanism there, which is awesome. But it don't help, because no matter how much you tilt it, if you're still going straight up and down, then guess what? Then you just have a tilted blade that's going straight up and down. So that doesn't help. The blade actually needs to come in at an angle like this, or like depending on how it goes. But it needs to come in effectively like that instead of. I mean, basically, this angle is irrelevant. So the fact that it is mounted on here makes for a neat mounting, but it doesn't really help. So we figured that out a little bit on the late side. So what I actually have to do is I have to mount this whole thing on a tilt that basically tilts this whole mechanism up, and then the hinge that's over here can go up and down. And I can do that pretty easily by just putting a board here and then having an adjuster over here that tilts the whole thing up. But I just, that was kind of where I left it. Yeah, just so everybody knows, this is, the whole thing is part, yeah. Take care, Jesse. Right, the bottom, this hinge here has got to sit on a tilty bar, essentially, or a tilty board. So I'll be able to bring it up, 8 or 10 degrees or whatever. You can set it at whatever you need it to. So if you have a 10 degree angle, then, or a 8 degrees or whatever it is, you can just set it. Got the quote, contact me. Okay, sounds good, Eric. So, I usually think I'm pretty good with electrical stuff, but missing green in here, ground? This is probably old. Should have green, for ground. White is neutral, and this is a 220 setup, essentially, but the motor says 120. What am I missing? Eric, just tell me, are we both going to be happy on this one? Cord is laying on. No, yeah, this is a table saw motor mechanism, and this hinge here has to also tilt up like this from under here. That's the whole point. And that way this can essentially tilt. It can tilt up and down like this, as opposed to straight up and down. Does that make sense? But the motor doesn't run, so. And poor Larry, this is one of the reasons I don't have the time. Sorry, buddy. I got this sitting in front of me, and I have to like sit here and think about it, and I've just not had the ambition to push forward on this project, you know. This is awful heavy. I have no idea what he was thinking with all this stuff out here. No, the motor's not frozen. It's actually pretty free. But if you put, I'm assuming red is hot. So you know, you got to grab 2 of these, and it's not a 220 motor. It says 120 right on it. So so you put 120 between here and here, and it just goes and doesn't move. Yeah, this is like, I don't know, but this whole thing wants to tilt funny, and James, you're bad. You already knew that. All right. Yeah. So anyway. And the motor's not frozen, it just doesn't want to go. Actually, I think I can eliminate this bracket entirely and just fold it over. Yeah. I think that's what I'm going to do. Try white and black. If I try white and black, I'm afraid I'm going to go, you know. Alright, I'll try white and black. So, Haja, hello. Kids, don't try this at home. That's all that it does. White and black doesn't work either. I'll reverse it, not that it'll matter. I guess my kids are having fun in the shower. No, nothing. Just goes meh, meh, and that's it. Yeah, shorten the motor. That's what I would think. So a lot of this is just that wiring is okay. Black and red to hot. Right, and white to ground. Yeah, that's what I thought too. But I'll show you. It moves a little bit, but it wants to go a little bit, but not. So, odds are you're right. Motor's shot. Shorten the motor. No point in. I mean, these motors have got to be really cheap, so. So I guess I'll just take it apart. I don't know. Closer. Is the door hinge the best? Probably not. But whatever. Didn't have to be so tight. So the idea, of course, is to have the blade come along here somehow and just up and down according to however you need it. And yeah, I really have to fix that. Definitely don't need this piece on here. Cool chunk of aluminum. Just put it down here. My miscellaneous metal. I like to put hardware back together, just 'cause. Connect both red and black to hot side. Connect red and black from saw. Thanks, Ron. Have a good one. Devin, do I still have 660? Yes. Sorry, guys, I wasn't paying attention. Connect black and red to hot and white to ground. Alright, I guess I can try that. Hang on, let me get the hardware back together here just so I don't lose it. Bandmill Bob, I'm working on a bandsaw blade sharpener, believe it or not. And we're definitely flying by the seat of my pants right now. I've got a butt. How did this get so oily? Paper towels. TD still here. Hang on, TD. So yeah, Devin, if you want tools, yes, I have 660 kits. Those are available for effectively immediate shipment. If you want main kits, then I'm out of stock. I'm really hoping to hear from my machinist like tonight. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. Do you want me to connect red and black together as hot, like that? Yes, I'm building a bandsaw blade sharpener. I have 2 kids. And unfortunately, my wife is working tonight. Hey! And we actually have it going the correct direction, so you're dragging chips this way. How's that? Get that ready tonight. So both the red and the black are connected as hots, and the white is connected as ground. I don't know why that's working, but I guess it is. This needs a lot more custom work to get this working. It just does. Power saw with child lockout. Alright, so we know that this does run. Okay. I'm not worried about wiring this up yet. Right now I got to figure out the angle. I need a board So here's what we need to do. We're going to ignore this for... Actually, let's... If we're going to dismantle stuff, we might as well dismantle stuff, right? So let's dismantle this. What else? I don't even know if I'm going to use this, but I mean, who knows? But yeah, this something has to go effectively. Great. Actually, ideally, I want this flat like that. Well, not flat. Ideally, we want this to be able to tilt to whatever degree. Well, here, actually, we can check this out. So let's assume that that's the tilt. Actually, 10 degrees standard in most blades. Yeah, 8 or 10, I think, custom cutter. Power source switch. Power saw switch with child lockout is why wiring is that way, so the children can't turn your blade on without you around. Take care, James. Feel better, buddy. 10 degrees standard most blades. I don't remember if it's less for hardwood, more for softwood, or vice versa. Yeah, it's like 10 or 8. I think 4 is... one of them is if you're cutting frozen wood, you want like 4 degree or something like that. But let me check the angle just for the heck of it. So I can actually use my... I have a clinometer on here somewhere. Okay, I can at least get an idea. Yeah, my clinometer. So, a cool app for phones. I can get an idea of where we're at. So 72. Right, so I'm going to have to put a block. Effectively, we have to put a block here, up, then the board this way, so that we can adjust the angle of this up and down. Like, so it'll go at, yeah, effectively it'll start like here, and it'll go up or down, and then wherever it's at, it'll tilt like this. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. So then the first thing to do, I think, is going to be to put a block here, and then the board up, attached to that board, and then attach this, and then we can up and down. Then it'll be a matter of getting the mechanism here so that it articulates this up and down appropriately at the right time, but that has to do with all the cams and all that other stuff over in the arm and all that other stuff over there. And just kind of looking at this is heavy. So I wonder if putting like a counterbalanced spring would offset some of the weight. Just an idea. Because this is awful heavy, and you know, no matter what motor you're using to drive, you'd need a pretty powerful motor to have that go up and down. Certainly the weight's good because it'll come down, you know, immediately. But anyway, let me go back here. Sorry, guys. There's really not much to do tonight. It was just a little bit of brainstorming. I know now that I need a block here to lift that up, essentially, and tilt that to where we need to go. Put that piece of angle stock back on the drill holes, insert long rod, pivot point, drill hole, and square stock. That seems to accept the other end of the rod. Put that piece of angle stock back on, drill holes, insert long rod, and you have a pivot point. Drill hole and square stock. Right, the square stock will accept the other end of that, I think. Setting up at 10 degrees as my cook blades are, but the chainsaw sharpener. The donor is adjustable. When I start getting this, you guys will see it, I think, and then we'll kind of go from there. But I gotta first get a few pieces set on here, and it's friggin' cold outside. It's gonna snow tomorrow. We have more snow coming in Sunday, I think. Sunday into Monday or whatever. So me getting outside, cutting pieces, coming back in, fitting them, it's just not happening right now, you know. But I wanted to at least get this project kind of on the bench and see if we can. Making speakers, unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, no. Yeah, bummer. I know. I told Devin, yes, I have 660 kits, but he hasn't responded back. Let me see if I can get him. Let me go to Devin's channel here. Devin Harper. There's no way to the problem is, like, there's no way to contact him. I can hit block user, but I can't, like, there's no way to email him through YouTube. So I'll just leave my email here. It sounds like my wife just walked in. TD, you would tell me how to build a fine peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but you're right, blindfolded, no good. Making mine out of aluminum, thought about wood, but you have to remember wood will shrink and expand with moisture in the air. Yeah, I'm. This is not that accurate. It's for sure. I'm sure some parts on here will be aluminum. My kids are screaming. Hang on a second. My little guy's screaming because he got soap in his eyes. David showed up. Hey. Yeah, so this is a bandsaw sharpener, blade sharpener, theoretically. So what I want to do is I want to just take this project literally like one little step at a time. This has been kind of years in coming, and I have a hard time building up ambition to do it because it's kind of complex. Keep telling my kids to close their eyes and rinse it out, but instead they just love to rub their eyes. They rub the soap right in. What are you going to do? What's complex about it? Okay, so what you have to do, you need a sharpening blade, right? Stone on a motor, and that stone doesn't, it moves up and down in a very specific pattern, and it has to be on a very specific tilt, so it actually is moving up and down like this, and at a very specific time while the blade is being fed into the sharpener, so that it gets fed and comes down and it's more like this motion. How's that? It's kind of complex. Yeah, this is automatic feed. The whole idea would be for me to be out on the mill and have a blade being sharpened automatically. Buffering. We're good here. So the whole idea is for me to be out on the mill and have a blade going, and then as soon as it gets dull, I can just swap it and, you know, back and forth real easy. You know, basically go out to the mill. It went late again. Guy uses a red bolt to turn off the sharpener. A red bolt. Who makes a decent sharpener set for, well, Cooks does. It's $1,700 a shot. It's $1,700 for the sharpener and $1,700 for the setter. Yeah, the money is just I don't know. Maybe I'll get frustrated with this and just go out and buy the Cook stuff, but I don't, you know, I don't cut that much. It's just so aggravating to have to throw away blades, you know? I don't want to do it. I don't want to throw away blades, and nobody in Connecticut sharpens. I can't find a sharpener in Connecticut. Hybrid, you know, I would love it if you bought one. But then, then again, if I'm able to make mine, then, what's the point? What brand of blades? These are Cook's blades, the Excel blades. Um, they have the Cook's super sharp blades. So I got I got like 10 of their Excel blades, and I'm like, yeah, throw in a couple of super sharps, I'll try them. Well, they didn't mark the super sharps. So I have no idea whether they were better or not. I mean, I didn't notice any difference. The Excel blades seemed to be fine. Yeah, these are bandsaw blades. And visually, I couldn't tell. Supposedly, there's more of a hook angle or something like that, but I don't know. Um, I just visually I couldn't see it, and my eyes are pretty good. Want a YouTube guy with a wood miser sharpens his own. I've seen a number of them that do Adirondacks. I mean, if you have a link, sure, but there's a number of guys that do, and I've seen all kinds of videos of DIY bandsaw blade sharpeners. But I have to pay shipping both ways. That's the problem. So I don't know how many. $7 is fine, but I don't know how many bandsaw blades it would actually take to make that worth it. 100. And you need like a refrigerator box to make that worth it. So I don't know. I think I'll see if I can get this going, and then at least we'll have a sharpener. But then we next have the problem of ideally you need a setter too. And you really need a nice place to do all that stuff. Yeah, Woodland has their own blade sharpener. It's $700 or whatever it is, but it's also a really kind of rinky-dink looking thing, and maybe it works and maybe it doesn't. But I was looking at that going, I don't know. I would think 30 to 50 blades for shipping to balance out. Yeah, I can put together 50 for at a time. But again, it would be nice just to have them going, have it, sharpening while I'm on the mill. And that way I could just go back to, when it dulls, you just take it off, go back to the sharpener, pull the one that's on the sharpener off, put it back on the mill. Good to go. I would change them out a lot more often if that was the case. Custom cutter. If you have longer blades, then it cost you, a lot more money. I'm only running 144-inch blades. They're 1.25 inches, and they're like 1 tooth per inch or something like that. I got a message from James here. Hang on. Okay. Jerry Resharp is the price to beat. I know Cooks does them like $7 or $8 or whatever it is, but I got to ship them to stinking Alabama. And the place that Ken brought up was the place here in Connecticut, but they're talking like $20 a shot just to sharpen, which is stupid because I pay in a pile of 10. It was like $165 shipped, so $16.50 a blade. Yeah, I've actually hand sharpened mine. I've done them with my well, with my angle grinder, and they break. Yeah, I like the price, and they actually work pretty good, Bob. Yeah, right now I'm waiting to. Okay, so tools. I'm waiting right now to hear from the machinist. They were supposedly going to start on the last uh, the small rods tonight, and I'm kind of hopeful that they're going to actually blow right through them and get them done. Which means hopefully tomorrow afternoon or Sunday I'll be able to pick them up, which would be awesome. And then I can start shipping. 18 people here. So yeah, that's the update on the tools. And so hopefully, if I get them picked up Sunday, that's great. And then I'll be shipping out probably Monday. I still have the 394s for sale, of course. And what else? Blades are 161 and 1650. Shipping was 27. Yeah, so that's nice price too, Bob. That's fine. Mine were 100. Mine was 165 for 10 shipped. So that's got to be about the same price. Because as you go up in length, and the other thing about Cooks is Cooks will you can actually give them the specs on your blade, and then they'll save it for you. So every time I call, I'm ordering the same stuff. They're welded the same way. 1 tooth ahead or 1 tooth behind or whatever. So what else is everybody doing tonight? I work tomorrow, so at least tomorrow morning. So I am basically gonna go to bed early tonight, And do I have any other projects to do? Really, it's just this that I'm working on. Custom cutter, great prices. It cooks AC36, not sure the length. Will cut 36-inch logs, 21 feet long. It's a big mill. It's a good sized mill. I'm waiting to hear back from James. He's having issues, I think. Oh, there's an email from him. Let's see. Do this. Let's go back here. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. I ran Red Streak for 2 years now with the Ripper 37 from Jerry's Resharp. Anybody buy the 394s yet? No. Red Streak Ripper. The Ripper 37 from Jerry Resharp. Okay. Will H. I have a Woodmiser LT40. Wow. 14 hours on it. Man, you got to start cutting. Bought it for hobby purposes. I haven't had a lot of time using it since I changed jobs last September. Well, you got to get using that thing, man. That's like having a set of work boots that aren't dirty, you know? Come on. .42 has cut down on fatigue and sharper as well. Can't spell more. Buy more new ones and keep thinking about it. Edwin, yeah, you know, yeah, buy more new blades. So what I got to do is I got to keep plugging away at this project. But now, I mean, this is in the basement. Now it's here. I'm going to actually work on it. And I've eliminated like all the other projects basically. So that's cool. Bob, I have 19 wheels too. You have 200 used blades. Oh Lord. Will, man, 14 hours on your LT40. Come on. I hope you find some time, man. I really do. Personally, I think that sawmilling is one of the most fun things that I do, and I definitely don't have nearly as nice of a mill as that. So, right. I love watching Linda's Sawmill Cinema. If anybody sees that YouTube channel, look up Linda's Sawmill Cinema. And her and her husband and kids, they just make the most amazing team when they're milling. I want Timber King, but not in the fight. I like my woodland mills, but I tend to use it at like the bleeding edge of its capacity. It's got plenty of power. The power is really not the problem. It's the issue for me is that with the 19-inch band wheels and the way it's set up is that the throat is only like 7.5 inches high at the maximum. So I can't have a 12. It's not a 12-inch throat. Ideally the space above the blade to where it hits the beam should be 12 plus inches, just so you can create like 2x12s and do quarter sawing easily. But I don't have that, so unfortunately, that's where that kind of ends up. Hasn't been cutting straight, but out of calibration. Need to adjust the bed rails up a 16th on one end. Totally green. Well, I'm lucky if I'm like plus or minus an eighth of an inch over 12 feet. You have a really nice machine to be green. Yeah, no kidding. Right. Will's version of crooked is completely different from my version of crooked. Enjoy watching Nathan from Out of the Woods. Yeah. My AC-36 only 7 inches to throat also bugs the heck out of me. I'm thinking of cutting it up, rewelding it at 12. 12 would be nice. I mean, you could really, I've thought about like, okay, when you're cutting a wall, you got to be able to go through the center. If you're doing quarter sawing, it would be so much easier just to be able to take a center cut, flip the top off, turn it, and now you have, it just would be so much easier to do that for quarter sawing. Mine only cuts 21 wide. It's very small. It works great for dimensional lumber, and I can take like a piece of pine that's 25 feet long and cut it into a beam if I want, because I have the rails. I have 30 foot of rail, but that's of course assuming that's all straight, which it isn't. Just for the hell of it, I've thought of like throwing the Harbor Freight Predator motor on there, the 22 horse motor to my machine, just going. It'd be fun. It would take a little custom work though. Tried cutting some red oak a couple weeks ago. Ended up butchering the first log. Got really wavy, probably because it wasn't using lube. Why the devil are you not using lube? I bought it used 2 years ago. Like the features of the cooks. I looked at all. I like the whole cook's idea with the wick for the lubrication, and that's basically how I modified mine. So it would have a wick. Man, is a plus side. Yeah, yeah. Certainly, it's nice that I can gain length no trouble. It didn't even it cost me $400 for the rails, and then I just put the bunks in there, and then you just go level the rails and pray that it comes out okay. What I really need to do is get those leveling feet, or create leveling feet like the new Woodland mills have, so that you can just put just screw them down basically to the ground, and you're stuck at 16 foot 8. I should have kept the rails at 40 feet. I really love having the real estate just to go up and down with the power head, and you can dump a log anywhere on there and just cut it. It's nice. Wheel H is your blade adjusted level with the bed. I bought the Fine and Just like you're talking about. Well, you spent a lot of money, buddy. Jeez. Didn't spend a lot of money on an LT40. 34,000. I spent. I'm into my mill for $4,000 total. And when mine is Woodland Mills HM126. That's the model. The bed is out a little on the loader side, only about a 16th. I'm not worried about a 16th of an inch, that's for sure. But then again, my bill's only $4,000, so whatever, you know. My siding, I had a siding guy come out today to quote me for the house, the windows and everything, and it was like 50 grand just for vinyl. Got a great deal with a credit union. Good. Now you just got to put it to work and make some of that money back. That's all. There are guys in forestry for that are like, they've cut what, 1,000,000 board feet with their with their the LT40 super hydraulics or whatever. Wow, 1,000,000 board feet. Cooks makes a tool you align the blade level with the deck. Makes a lot of difference in blade rising and falling. How's your blade tension? My fear of jumping into a hydraulic mill is to cover the monthly fee requires a constant purchaser of milled lumber, and that is hard to do. Yeah, you need to have a good way to offload the lumber, But that's the holy grail of all small business, is to get constant work. Well, I better call it a night, guys. I needed to get an early bedtime. I'm gonna get the kids to bed and all that stuff. So, just want to show you guys what I'm working on. Eventually, I don't know when, but this will get worked on now that it's on the bench here to do. And yeah, the bills don't stare at me at night. Nice, Bob. That's good. TD, take care, okay? Will, thanks for coming. Do appreciate it, okay? Come anytime, hang out. David, you take care. And email me, guys, if anybody needs anything. Let the kids run amok. I know the whole thing's gonna run amok tonight. Have a good one, guys. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Be safe. Be good. Okay.